What's up YouTube, Mass here. I know these are traditionally late, but I wanted to take the extra bit of time because obviously the editing and the actual planning of the lists does take a little bit of effort, so we are finally here for the Clan Collection decks. We are going to be doing, like last time, going through them in nation order, so obviously this one's going to be for United Sanctuary. The one thing I did do, which is different, is I will chop and change what the actual deck I'm covering is going to be. Because some of the decks did only get like one new card, no reprints, so it's not properly supported, whereas other card decks got more support, so I decided to cover those instead. So we're going to start off with the beginning, and that's Royal Paladins with the Dual Knights. So Dual Knights got a really nice finisher in the forms of Ashley Reverse, who can lock your rear guards to retire opponent's rear guards and then check top 4, call something, and then stack the rest on the bottom of your deck. So obviously you can do this multiple times in a turn and just build up a very big stack of, this is what I know is coming, can you stop me? Because obviously by the time you've rode into Ashley Reverse, you're supposed to have thinned your deck, or at least create a very nice stack based on all your other skills. And then when you're attacking with Ashley Reverse, you can then call more units out of the deck. And then she gains power for each of your locked cards. And if you hit 3, she does gain the Sentinel Restrict. She does gain power for each of the locks as well, which does obviously then combo nicely with Miranda, who when unboosted can counterblast and then gain the power of your opponent's Vanguard onto it. So all the powers that Ashley has gained will go to Miranda as well, giving you 2 big columns. Adding on to that, we have got Olwen that also came out in the set as well, and she rests herself to give power to your Vanguard and then Soul Charge. So really good stuff. She literally works nicely with the locks because obviously you can rest her before locking to then lock her, so you utilise both her skill and using her as a cost. All in all, this now does finish off the Dual Knight package because that is all of them now come out. And I can't wait to see how it develops in the meta over time. Next one up on the list is the Battle Sisters for Oracle Think Tank. Now, Battle Sisters got some nice support in the forms of Fromage Reverse, who does you obtain the powers of Fromage had of getting to check top number of cards based on numbers of rearguard a number of units with Battle Sisters in their different card names. But then she goes one stage further and then lets you draw a card for each of your rearguard Battle Sisters you then choose to lock afterwards. Adding on to that, giving 5k per lock to your entire front row does allow you to build up a lot of pressure very fast. Combining this with the rear guards that we got from the last few waves of support for Battle Sisters, you do get big numbers, big crits, and even Sentinel Restrict from the first wave of Battle Sisters from Clan Collection. Adding on to the fact of you also got Mocha and Coca in the same set. Mocha being checking top 2 when rode upon, and then also being an extra power shield card. Really good. Adding on to that with Coca, which is call itself to rear guard when rode upon, and then rests herself to then check top card, put it on top or bottom. Which again, like with the Dual Knights, you have to rest her, then lock her, so it's not actually costing you anything. All in all, very fun deck. Not sure how it's going to do in the meta. We'll have to wait and see. Next one up on the list is Shadow Paladins. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, Shadow Paladins I've not gone for the cover card in Mordred Phantom. Reason why not Mordred Phantom, Drag Rule Phantom. Reason behind this is he's literally whack him in your old Mordred Phantom deck, job done. There's not much there to talk about. Whereas Shadow Paladins Witches, however, did get all the reprint slots get dedicated to them. They gained a Tane, plus we've also got the new promo Dana to talk about as well. So we might as well cover them instead. So obviously, talking of a Tane, we'll start with her, who's got really nice, can't be hit, can't be retired, and can intercept from the front row, which is really strong on her own. Combining with that, of when she's attacked on the Vanguard circle or placed in the Guardian circle, you can sack 2 Witches to retire one of your opponent's stood units. So obviously can provide really nice gameplay with this. Makes your opponent think a lot more about order of attacks being swung, and really nice pressure. Combining this when you've got Dana on top of it as well, who rests herself to call more grade zeros to your opponent's field, to keep with that nice playstyle of Femfiana. Really nice, gets lots of power. You can even utilise Danas to then, instead of actually calling stuff out with Fem's then giving you a drive check instead because they've got no grade zeros to replace units with. We've still got this useful package of Skull Witch Nemain because it's the good early build up your board. So you've got the Skull Witch Nemains for deck thins, and then you sack them off at a time because you don't need them past that. We have still kept Dive Down Eagle in there just to build up the extra little bit because we haven't got enough decent witches yet. But having it in there as a nice target to search off in the main if needed, really good. Next one up on the list is Angel Feathers, and Angel Feathers got a old retrain in the forms of Curiel alongside her, though she's brought 2 new units out. So Curiel's got the very nice playstyle of rescue checking, while still having that little bit of Protect 2 playstyle of the Malkuth Mellis decks. So obviously she on ride generates a second Protect 2 if you've got one in play. So obviously first ride you get 2, second ride you get 4, builds up the board quite nicely. On top of that, she then on attack Counterblast Soul Blasts calls a card for up to every Protect marker you've got on your board. So if you've got the 4 Protect markers, you're calling 4 from your damage zone to the field. Then when it gets better is you then do a damage check for each of those units you called. So you're taking the Gavriel playstyle of rescue checks and dealing yourself damage before you even done your drive checks. So obviously 4 drive checks on turn 1, 6 drive checks on turn 2. Really strong for Curiel. Combining with that, when we've got an extra interceptor in the new Berry, and then you've got the little bit of support in the grade 2 of putting your opponent's unit into the damage zone, they then heal 1. Not so much useful for the V Premium format, but it can work nicely in Premium with the G Guardian that lets you call stuff from damage to Guardian Circle, which will then prop off with one of your other Premium cards, which then lets you bring it back to the field again, and then you're placing your field during your opponent's turn on a Protect 2 circle. You can then snipe off one of your opponent's attacking units. All in all, we've still got the Sectio and the Amputation Angel from the old Malkuth Mellis days to give that extra bit of back row intercepting, along with the Sentinel Restrict that the Amputation Angel provides, to give us our little own mini Gavriel Hamiel just with less rescue checks. All in all, very fun deck. Can't wait to see what it does in the meta. And next up we have Gold Paladins. Now Gold Paladins is one of the decks I'm not personally fond of, so I have just gone for a basic. Here's all the reprints, here's some other good stuff. I have looked at other lists and I do notice it's somewhat similar. I just obviously use the Mortimer Ride line for the if you don't find Duke situation. This is a 12 crit 4 draw deck, and the reason behind this is Spectral Dupe Dragon Reverse does need to actually have 5 damage to ride from hand. So knocking yourself from 5 to 4 and due to a drive check heal does stop a lot of your plays. So not having the heals in it does give you that extra bit of aggro for the deck. 3 Vanguard swings, very strong. Next one up on the list, which is the final clan for United Sanctuary, is Genesis. So we did get more Regalia support in the forms of Frigg, unfortunately not Minerva. But Frigg's got that nice bit of protecting your rearguards with Divine Gauge a different way. In the fact of, she says the units with Divine Gauge cannot be removed from the rearguard circle. So this one gets around the anti-targeting stuff. Whereas obviously Angelica is literally only the prevents targeting. So they both have their uses. Plus you've got Frigg whose act skill, can't blast 1, check top 5, call a card from there. If it's a Regalia, gauge 2 cards. But the grade 2 also has that skill. So you can use that to cheese out CEO Yggdrasil a turn early. and then you see Yggdrasil to get Norm out on turn 2, get the combo set up, and get a lot of pressure going right out of the gate. All in all, nice little buff to Regalia. Can't wait to see how it does. So those are the end of the lists. I do want to very much stress, these are example lists. Do not take my lists and say they must work, they must work. They are no guarantees. Do tweak them how it fits your play style. These are just here for those that want to pick up the deck and learn how it plays before adjusting. But that is going to be it for this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like, comment, subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye!